George Soros refuses to accept responsibility for crime waves in cities controlled by Democrats. I mean, of course, he's not gonna take responsibility or be held to account for any of that stuff, even though it's his attorneys that's letting these criminals out on the streets and terrorize people. But before we get started, go ahead, hit that like button, share this out so we can get this information out there. Subscribe if you're not already a subscriber. Hit that alarm bell so you know when I'm putting out new stuff. Also, check out my link tree in the description. It has a link to my Patreon where I talk about things I can't talk about here. And there's also a link to my merch store. All right, let's talk about this news. On July 31st, billionaire and left-wing philanthropist George Soros penned an opinion piece for the Wall Street Journal, wherein he defended his support for reform prosecutors. In the piece, he rejected the suggestion that the liberal district attorneys, prosecutors, and politicians he has financially backed, along with their unifying agenda, are responsible for recent increase in crime, which is total bullcrap. Soros' defense comes in response to criticism by politicians and pundits, but likely also to the recent June 22nd report issued by nonprofit Law Enforcement Legal Defense Fund, LELDF. The LELDF report detailed the impact made by the 75 Soros-backed social justice prosecutors who now represent 1 in 5 Americans, or more than 72 million people, alleging that in 2021, more than 40%, that's 9,000 plus, of the approximately 22,500 homicides in the U.S. occurred in areas overseen by these DAs. That's incredible. The stats are incredible. It further alleged that these prosecutors' charging and plea deal decisions, sentencing recommendations, and trial strategies have been a major part of the perpetuation of and rise in crime in the cities they oversee. Confronted with such claims about the fallout that his investments have produced, Soros suggests that the agenda advanced by the reform-minded prosecutors and other law enforcement officials whom he financially backs is both popular and effective, which is bullcrap. All you have to do is just look at the stats. It's so easy to look at the stats of these places where these prosecutors that he support control, and you see like every single one of them, the crime is up tremendously. The increase in crime rates in Democrat-controlled cities are to blame, argues Soros, on a quote, a disturbing rise in mental illness among young people, a pullback in policing in the wake of public criminal justice reform protests, and increases in gun trafficking. Among the reform-minded individuals supported by Soros are, and I think I talked about almost every single one of these crazy prosecutors, but you got LA District Attorney George Gascon giving $4.7 million for his election campaign in 2020 via Soros California Justice and Safety PAC. And he's being recalled. Then you got Philadelphia District Attorney Larry Krasner giving $1.3 million via Soros Color of Change. And then you got Cook County, Illinois, one of the worst counties in Chicago. I feel sorry for the people that live there, the law-abiding citizens that live there. But you got Attorney Kim Foxx, with her and her the whole Jussie Smollett stuff, who received $2 million for her campaign in 2020 and 708,000. Then you got Baltimore State Attorney Marilyn Mosby and Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg, who allegedly received $1 million in 2021 through 2 of George Soros' PACs. This is a lot of money he's throwing at these people. In their respective cities, crime is in fact on the rise. Fox News recently reported that Los Angeles, Philadelphia, Baltimore, and New York were on their ways to breaking 2021 levels of violent crime by mid-year. Incredible. Compared to 2021, this year violent crime has increased by 25.8% under Bragg and 6.1% under Mosby, 7% under Krasner, and 8.6% under Gascon. Kim Foxx's Cook County had 1,002 gun-related homicides in 2021 alone. Incredible. Soros' displacement of blame has not been well received online. You got Rudy Giuliani. He tweeted out, "If there is one thing, one single person responsible for the record increases in murder and violence in America's cities is George Soros, major contributor to BLM Antifa Democratic Party, Biden Harris, and 40 or so pro-criminal DAs. Well, it's really 70 DAs. And he said the blood is on his hands, and I totally agree. Then you got Jesse Kelly joined former New York Mayor Rudy Giuliani in rejecting Soros' rationalizations. Jesse Kelly said no major power in the history of the world would allow a foreign-born billionaire to intentionally cause death and destruction within its borders. That's true. How is he getting away with this? America allows him to do it and brag about it in our newspapers. That's why we won't be here 100 years from now. And I agree. How you let someone who's not even American come in, funnel all this money into these different campaigns, the prosecutors and all that stuff, and then brag about it and destroy our cities, and nothing happens to this guy. He continued to push his ideology. How is he allowed to do this? According to Open Secrets, George Soros, whose worth has been estimated by Forbes to be 8.6 billion, is the quote top individual super PAC donor for 2022 midterm election, having contributed to 126 million of the 155 million angel donors have given to liberal super PACs so far this election cycle. That is crazy. But let me know what you think about all this. Leave your comments down below. Like, share, and subscribe, and check out themarkrepublics.com for the latest in news. Until next time, peace.